Have a couple areas to watch here on our Friday morning in the tropics with a new moderate risk of tropical development in the next 7 days. Meteorologist Robert Spedal is doing our best to be transparent and not hype up these tropical systems. We'll let you know when you need to be worried. And right now, nothing to worry about, but we're always going to be monitoring. Of course, we have an area over South Florida, which I know at first glance you're going, hold the phone, what's going on here? I'll get to that in a second. We also have another area which now has a 40% chance, a moderate risk of development coming off the west coast of Africa. In the next 48 hours, it's zero. We're looking at the next 7 days, and that's going to be a long-range guidance. And we'll get to that in just a moment as well. But first, let's talk about South Florida. And here's a look at this area of convection, which is now right over the Bahamas. And kind of see the broad trough in here. You have that northeasterly flow in here. You have the southwesterly flow, and then you have this broad circulation smack right into the middle of it. And I think the bigger thing with this interaction with this trough and the high pressure towards the north is this nor'easter setup. Consistent onshore winds up and down the east coast about 30 to 35 miles per hour. So it's not tropical, but definitely it's going to feel breezy out there just due to this gradient-induced flow. And you can see with the ECMWF model, it is trying to spin up at least a little bit of a weak low heading into the weekend across South Florida and slowly working its way towards the north and west. But there is no guidance that is full on showing a tropical system. It's a low in the tropics, and thus the National Hurricane Center is watching it. And that's the key thing with this graphic above me, is always remember that is just what they are watching. So don't believe all the hype when you see on social media somebody saying, oh, I've seen a lot of posts even not showing the color code, not indicating it's a low chance of development, just basically saying there's a chance of something forming over Florida. And that is true in its sense, but you have to put it in the context. It's like saying I have a chance of winning the lottery. It's yes, but the odds are not very good. The bigger thing is going to be this easterly flow with this nor'easter setup. And we don't have a tropical system. Look at these winds along the coast and all across Florida, 30 to 40 miles per hour. So it's tropical storm strength wind gust at the very least in a place here. So you're not going to get a track, you're not going to get a cone, but you are going to see onshore winds, coastal conditions, and even some coastal flooding, what you would call a storm surge. It's really some tidal flooding during high tides, and by Sunday into Monday, we have a full moon, so you have a king tide on top of that. If you see any rainfall, though, it's primarily going to be reserved east of I-95, where you got that onshore flow accumulating precip over the course of the next several days. But with all of this, in this kind of interaction with the jet stream towards north, you have that high pressure ridge that does create a lot of wind shear, and that's also going to continue to reduce the risk of any organized warm core low tropical cyclone type development. So that's really being transparent and putting in the perspective of what we're seeing out here. We still have a bit of a nor'easter. We have a little weak trough down towards the south, but it's not hurricane type setup by any means. Meanwhile, moderate risk of development in the eastern Atlantic, a tropical wave coming off of the west coast of Africa. You can see that right there. Looks pretty robust at this time, and even some long-range guidance is indicating some development. The ECMWF and the GFS both showing right there. You can see over Hispaniola towards Puerto Rico. It does pick up on, by this time next week, a low pressure area. And I say by this time next week, that is 7 days out. But we'll try to give you as early as possible of a look here, because especially with this latest guidance kind of indicating a low in the track kind of coming like this, the further south this could form, the more likely it would move into the Gulf, where we watch for tropical cyclone development this time of year. And if it moved into the Gulf, or at least south of Cuba, that would be more at risk for something developing and turning towards the north, towards the state of Florida. If it formed further towards the north, that would be a higher chance of this recurving out to sea. There's a variety of outcomes that could take place with this, and of course, moderate chance in the next 7 days is all we got at this time. But I'm trying to give you at least as early as possible of a heads up on it. It would, if it did become named either of these areas, it would be called Jerry, and Karen would be the name after that. Kind of interesting. Those are the back-to-back names. Yeah, if you know, you know. Anyways, hey, if you have any other questions, so shoot me a message. Maybe if you're watching this on YouTube, you can comment down below as well. As always, though, thanks for stopping by here at First Coast News. Check out Hurricane Central for more information.